toxic marriages. Look at this foolish woman who just died. To even beat up that woman from there, it's not even normal. You will pay for that blood. You're stupid. Why are you still staying? You don't need to attend because you're not married. My life is over because the Bible says. Step into her shoe. And if I'm standing, you will stand. Hi, my YouTube family. Welcome on set today. The topic of today is leave. This topic is the usual based on gender-based violence. And let me tell you, a woman who can cheat or who can wreck somebody's union of marriage doesn't need to be single. Even if she's married, she can still do the same. Marriage does not define a cheating man or a husband. If you cheat, if you're a cheater, if it is in you and you have made that choice, regardless whether you're single or married, you will still do it. So this is a just word to those married women who decided to abandon their friends because they were going through a tough divorce, or because they lost their husbands and now they are widows, you know, or you are the kind of a married woman who cannot befriend a single mom. This is just a kind word to you. If that woman can cheat, that does not mean that because she's single, that's when she can cheat on you. She can date your husband. Even if she was married with a husband in the house, if she is the type, she would still do it. She would still do it. So now, so when I say that women who suffer greatly are those who are not from well-to-do families, it is very true. Because remember, their resources are limited. They have no connection. They are not financially empowered. Most importantly, they are not financially empowered. And even if they are financially empowered, they do not have these connections. And this financial empowerment, even if it is you're trying to look for connection, you coming from this kind of place, not well-to-do families, you need to buy these connections. So how much will you continue having to buy connections to aid you and help you in the journey that you have started? Yeah. Let's go to my next point. To date, women are still staying in these life-threatening, toxic marriages because they are not financially empowered. When you start doing your research, any woman, majority of the women who are still entertaining this kind of toxic marriages, majority of them, it's because they're not financially empowered. Those who are beginning to plan their exit, you will realize they are starting from the basis of trying, you're still in the abusive marriage, but you're trying to make attempts to empower yourself financially so that you can leave. And I will tell you for free, it is not easy. Because these abusive men, they know the minute they allow you to empower yourself financially, you're going to leave them. So they will not let you. So you realize these women, everything they are trying to do is in secrecy, which is very difficult. If it is a business they needed to do, they are trying to do it in secrecy. Maybe this business in a month could have given them 100,000, but because they are struggling and doing it in secrecy so that their husbands, these abusive men, husbands, so that they don't get to know, you realize they are making very little money. And yet again, these abusive men will allow these women to start doing whatever businesses they are doing, but they will not allow them to save. Now they will dive into their businesses and make sure every coin this woman is making, they are taking. Because by the end of the day, this woman is not supposed to be financially empowered. Because if they allow this woman to be financially empowered, she's going to leave. Who would continue living in a physical abusive home if you are financially empowered? Unless you enjoy it. You're the kind of woman who says, oh, when my husband beats me, it's love. Then those kind of women stay. Because maybe it's their tradition or their way of thinking, which for me it is very abnormal. It's not even normal. Yeah? But in real sense, there is no sane woman who will tell you, I'm comfortable in a physical abusive marriage. No sane woman will tell you. Majority of the women today who are still in these marriages, they will tell you, the minute I'm financially empowered, I will leave. And these men know, the minute she's financially empowered, she's going to leave me. So I will not let it. So they'll either stop this woman from working, they will allow her to work and take everything, they will frustrate her in every way means possible to make her look, there's a tool they normally use to try and make a woman feel stupid. They can even go to extremes of destroying your business and then rub it on your face. You do not know how to do anything. You're very stupid. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. You cannot even be able to do business. You're better off being a housewife. And these are all tools to just financially disempower you. Because the minute the woman is disarmed, she's going nowhere. So men know that and make sure it remains that way. They know they will not let you, not men, these kind of monsters. They know. So they will not allow you to empower yourself financially. They will not know. And I know there are many women who are still in this kind of union of marriages. I also know there are women who fought their way out by making attempts of financially empowering themselves so that they are able to live, which is not easy. And they can stand to testify and tell you, when I started making the attempts to live by trying to do something to get money, the beatings I would get, the insults I would get, the embarrassment I would get even on broad daylight outside in public for people to see. Even the men they can even go to these women's businesses to cause havoc, to even beat up that woman from their offices. These are the kind of extremes these men go through to make sure that you will not be financially empowered. So, going back to the title of the topic today, the minute you start telling a woman to leave, you need to step in that woman's shoe first. Before you judge her, step into her shoe. You know, there's a statement which is public, and people always speak about it. Don't judge a book by its cover. You're looking at this woman, she doesn't look like she lacks anything. She's well kept. She cleans up so well when she's going out there, so you will not even believe when she tells you, I was battered yesterday. She's trying to hide her scars even with sunglasses. So you will never get to know. She will put even scarves not to show you the bruises that she has suffered. The smile is all out there. Never judge a book by its cover. This woman looks so sophisticated that when she comes and tells you that I need assistance to even, if I need to step out, I will need help even for my basic needs. I will need help for food. I will need help for shelter. I will need help for clothing. I will need help for basic electricity, water, to pay basic needs. I will need this help. But you look at that woman and with all her sophistication and from where she's coming from, and you sit back and assume she doesn't need that help. She's lying. Remember, going back to the first statements, not all women are strong enough to start from zero. Despite the fact this woman, when she was married, for example, the stay-home moms, the husband is wealthy. He's a provider. He's the one who was giving everything. Despite she was getting everything, despite the fact she looks all money because she was well kept, but she was getting thorough beatings. There are so many things that she was going through that have warranted her to want to leave. Just because of the way she looks like, just because of her status, does not mean that her pocket is that way. And then remember, now that she wants to leave, she will leave with nothing because this narcissist, this monster, will not allow her to live with anything. So when this woman tells you, leave my marriage to where? And you're looking at her from head to toe and you're like, you're joking. By your looks, you want to tell me there is no place you can go to. Believe them when they tell you to where. Believe them when they choose to remain in the union of marriage because there is nowhere else to go to. When you're asking them leave, if you're not giving them a solution, let them be. Because most of these women are looking for solutions. You do not need to tell them to leave. They had already decided in their minds, maybe even years back, they wanted to leave. But the question was to where? How? Am I strong enough to start again? So you are not so much so helping her by telling her to leave. You will only be helping her by telling her, how do you want me to assist you to escape this union of marriage? The stigma brought about by, let me bring now, this is just a discussion and I just needed to bring some few pointers. And I said it's just a recap and a reminder of these continued questions of leave. You're stupid. Why are you still staying? So it is just a recap. It is just a reminder. It is just a call for those who do not understand because they have never lived it, to stop coercing these women, to stop judging these women, to stop insulting these women, and to begin to understand these women are looking for solutions, not for things they already know they should do. The things they should do, they know they need to leave. But they are looking for the how and the means and to where to go to. Right? So now I'll bring you to another statement, which I tend to feel that this thing tends to be hidden. Now in the present times, they're still trying to hide it, but it is still there. It's not yet dead. The stigma brought about by the church towards the divorced women, sometimes widows, single women, especially single mothers, is massive. And it is still massive. Because here we'll say we are supporting them. But there are very few programs that help them in any way. You realize that, when I say it is going on, and it is massive, it's still going on behind the scenes. Because you see, the church wants to show you we are there for you, but behind the scenes, the things they are doing, they are actually already making you very uncomfortable. I will give you an example. You go to the church, and I'm sorry to mention this, and it just occurred some time back when a particular lady made me to almost cry. In this present day, she belongs to a particular church, and she's now currently divorced. And the people who are making her very uncomfortable in this church, to the extent of leaving the church now, and she has been in this church for ages. She assisted in the construction of the church. She has watched the church grow. They have grown with the church. Remember, then she was married. Now she's divorced. Now the unfortunate truths that happens behind the scenes, and the most painful thing is this particular discomfort is being stirred up by female married women in the church. So just because this woman now is officially divorced, and it was public, of course in the church they will know now they are divorced, these married women will begin to pick on this lady. When meetings are called, she will even be openly told you don't need to attend because you're not married. These meetings are for the married people. These meetings are, the kind of behavior they are portraying to her. Let me just state it in accordance to her own words. They were trying, the way they treat her is like she's defiled. You no longer belong to the church. We do not want you participating in most of the activities because somewhat now you are defiled. You're not complete. You have a deformity. That is how, those are her words. She felt she has a deformity. She's defiled. She's no longer clean. She's no longer worth or acceptable to participate in some church activities because of her changed status. And as much as we are trying to say this thing is dying or is dead from churches, it's still going on. It's still going on. Because the way you are looking at me, we are saying step into my shoe. I know how you looked at me when I was Mrs. So-and-so and when my ring was in my finger. I know how you used to talk to me when I was a Mrs. So-and-so. And now I know how you are looking at me because I'm no longer Mrs. So-and-so. How you are addressing me because I'm not a Mrs. So-and-so. How you are relating with me because I'm not Mrs. So-and-so. So some of the things, they don't even need explanations. We see, we know. And sometimes it's too much that you cannot even hide it. You have to vomit it. That's why you're telling her, you're not supposed to be assisting much now in the programs you used to do in the church. Why? Because her status has changed. So by the time we were having a conversation, she was in the verge of leaving the church. The church that she sacrificed for it to be built. Now she needs to leave because her status has changed. So remember my beginning statement. Not all women are strong enough to start. There are many things that happen in the churches because you realize majority of women, from the time they are married, even when they are divorced, or even when they are widowed, their second home is like church. They take up so many responsibilities and commitments in the church. The minute her status has changed, and then now you are trying to chase her away from her second home, what are you trying to do to her? What is your end game? Remember, this woman is already traumatized and trying to heal from so many things. And now this is additional. So the minute you're telling a woman to leave, you need to take account. Actually, step into her shoe. Don't just tell her to leave. Step into her shoe first. There's another statement I needed to make. In these present days, there are still ministers from churches who continue telling physically abused women to continue in prayer, to continue fasting, and to give these men a chance. There are still ministers in this present day and age who know very well these women are physically being violated in their union of marriages. And they are still telling these women to stay in their union of marriages. And they are still bringing out the Bible verses to aid them continue staying in this union of marriages. And this begins to shift the mind of this woman that if I leave this abusive marriage, I am a sinner. I am defiled. My life is over because the Bible says. Then, tomorrow, breaking news, this woman was murdered. The pastor knew because this woman confided with the pastor. But the pastor said, let's continue in prayer. Let's continue fasting for this man. Yeah? The scriptures that are following this conversation is, you cannot leave your union of marriage. So breaking news tomorrow morning, this woman is dead. And the same pastor he will be the guest of honor in the funeral procession. He will conduct the funeral. May her soul rest in peace. We shall meet again. And the culprit will walk. To these present days. It's unfortunate for these pastors because her blood is in your hands. You will pay for that blood. In these present days, it's greatly improved on the female pastors because much of conversations that we have had, the female pastors are very passionate. Whenever a woman goes and confides with any female minister, and it is about physical abuse, majority of these female ministers are telling these women, it is time to leave. Some of them have had very few cases where they're even aiding them to leave. So this is a bit of a plus for these women. So my prayer would be, I wish we continue getting more of these kind of female ministers who stand in the gap for these abused women, and especially in their most vulnerable time, when truly they need help, when truly they need the exact help that they need. It is indeed my prayer that we continue getting more of these female ministers to aid these women and to actually even begin to help these women heal spiritually. Number one, by indoctrination. Remember how much of the scriptures of why they should continue staying in these physical abusive marriages. Remember the scriptures where they were boxed into acceptance and belief that when you live, you are defiled, you are a sinner, you will never go to heaven. Actually, your life is over. You're destined to hell. So it is indeed my prayer for these women to continue aiding these women even in their healing journey, most importantly spiritually. Yeah. You know, there's something else in my closing I needed to state. The nature, we have so many male ministers. The priests are male. Most pastors are male. You know, there are churches where even they will give you Bible verses that women are not supposed to preach. They are not even supposed to be ministers. Yeah. So majority in the platforms of the churches and synagogues, they are male pastors. But there is a statement I want to bring into your attention. The nature in most cases of a man, because the nature of a man, they do not see anything big. Most of the time, the way women see things, and that is why sometimes we are told women have emotions. The thing that is driving your emotion haywire as a woman, in the eye of a man, it's nothing. So in most cases, these women are going to male ministers explaining of how they are physically being abused, and they're not seeing anything big, and it is in their nature. But the irony is, let me say this, the irony is when it hits home, they are able to act. Let me give you an example. If it is a sister to the minister, it hits home. Most importantly, if it is a daughter to the minister, then it hits home. But I will also give you another angle. If it is a daughter to the minister, we have had cases where these daughters have been told, you have to go back into your union of marriage because you're going to embarrass our family, and you know your father is a pastor. So it is important to start evaluating ourselves. And most important, my cry to men would be, when it comes to physical violation, begin to notice. Begin to treat it with the strength it deserves. If you're in a position where you are able to apply your strength, your power, your energy, your aid, please do it. Because remember here, the person this lady, this vulnerable woman is dealing with is also a male. So it will take another man to stand in the gap to defend this female, this woman. So my call is to men. And you know, we have more men than these monsters. Time for your silence is up. Time to stand up and now begin to help or heal or even teach this younger generation of our young men on how to treat women, on how to treat the female. Even from the girls, how boys treat girls, how young men treat young women. As they grow up, they need to start now to begin to learn on how to treat women. And I believe when men now take up the mantle to do these things, they will greatly help even our next generation. So in my closing, as the title of our topic today is Live, I hope this has been a short or a short, is it short or long? Teaching, reminder, catching up. So when we talk so much on the matter of living, it's important that we step in this women's shoe. It's important that we should not blame them. It's important that we should not judge them. It's important that we should not start calling them names. Stupid, foolish. Why did you stay in your union of marriage? Look at this foolish woman who just died. Why was she still in her union of marriage? Haven't you heard of women who even attempted to leave and they left? And those monsters looked for them and killed them. And these are the kind of things I'm saying, and I'm going to continue educating these women. Don't leave this kind of union of marriages if you do not have the help that you need. Don't. It doesn't matter how many people who are telling you that you need to leave. If anybody asks you to leave and you do not have anywhere to go and you have not finalized your plan and then most importantly your security, ask them to where. Let them give you the options. Let them give you the solution that you're trying to look for. Sometimes these women continued looking for help silently. So you will never get to know that they are making any form of attempts. Because they have to be discreet. They have to be very secretive. And you out there, you're assuming she's doing a lot of nothing. So your work is to keep on pushing her to leave. Your work is to insult her. Your work is to call her names. So let this be a wake-up call that these women are not stupid. These women are not fools. These women is not like they do not know what they want. Yes, in some cases, there are women who have even sunk into depression. They are no longer even thinking straight because of the abuse they have undergone. In such cases, don't tell her to leave. In such cases, give her, offer her the help she needs. This kind of women need even to be rescued, snatched, and saved. So it's not a matter of telling women to leave. It's a matter of identifying what they need for a safe exit out of these unions of marriage. I hope I've made you understand for those who have never been in our shoes. I hope I have also encouraged another woman or given a voice of reason to this kind of women who are still going through in this kind of abusive marriages. I hope I have strengthened somebody who needed it. I hope I've also given another woman a tool, hope, faith to exit this kind of abusive union of marriages. Remember, you're not alone. Remember, we have left. It's one step at a time. Remember, every time anyone who comes and asks me, Catherine, how are you doing? I always say one step at a time. One step at a time means a lot of things. And if I'm standing, you will stand. If another woman is standing out there, you will stand. Don't despair. But the much I can tell you is, soldier on, courage, 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 courage and strength. When you step out there, remember it's one step at a time. Remember, you do not know where your next meal is coming from. This is not supposed to give you sleepless nights. This is supposed to tell you, as long as I have breath, I will live. I will survive. As long as I manage to escape even this other handle, I will overcome it. So until next time, keep supporting us in every way. Our new family members, subscribe. Please like our videos. Please like our videos. Share our videos. We love to read your comments, yeah? And the pay bill, kindly support us even financially. And may the Almighty God richly bless you. Until next set, see you.